They owned nearly 80% of the world's deliverable silver. Then the rules changed overnight. Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt were heirs to one of the greatest oil fortunes in American history. Their father, H.L. Hunt, had built a Texas empire from a borrowed $50 and a wildcat drilling operation. By the 1970s, the Hunt family was swimming in billions. But the brothers believed the real danger wasn't losing money. It was the dollar itself. The year was 1973. Inflation was exploding. Nixon had just taken the U.S. off the gold standard. Oil shocks were rattling the global economy. Governments were printing money at historic levels, and the Hunts saw paper currency as a slow-motion collapse. So they turned to silver. To them, silver wasn't just a metal. It was protection. Real money. Something governments couldn't print. And they didn't buy a little. They bought everything they could get their hands on. Imagine silver like the last bottle of water in a desert. The scarcer it becomes, the more desperate people get to own it. Now imagine two billionaire brothers quietly buying truckloads of it across the world. Swiss vaults, futures contracts, physical bars stacked by the ton. By 1979, the Hunt brothers controlled an estimated 100 million troy ounces of silver, possibly more, through futures contracts. At one point, they effectively controlled nearly 80% of the global deliverable supply. The market went insane. Silver exploded from around $6 an ounce to nearly $50. Jewelry stores were flooded. Pawn shops ran out of inventory. People melted family silverware for cash. Industrial companies panicked because silver was essential for electronics, photography, and manufacturing. The Hunts weren't just investing anymore. They were bending an entire global market around themselves. And that terrified Wall Street. Then came January 1980. The COMEX and Chicago Board of Trade suddenly changed the rules. New restrictions limited how much silver traders could buy. Margin requirements skyrocketed overnight. Banks stopped issuing loans. The message was clear. The party was over. And the Hunts were trapped. Because their empire wasn't built only on silver. It was built on debt. Then came the day that shattered everything. The 27th of March, 1980. Silver Thursday. The price of silver collapsed so violently that the market looked broken. In a single day, billions vanished. The Hunts were hit with margin calls worth over $1.7 billion, money they simply didn't have liquid access to. Phones rang non-stop. Banks demanded payment. Traders panicked. For a moment, people feared the entire financial system could crack. The brothers who once looked unstoppable were suddenly drowning. By 1988, the Hunt brothers had filed for bankruptcy. One of America's richest dynasties had been reduced to lawsuits, courtrooms, and creditors. But this story isn't just about greed. It's about power. Because the Hunt brothers learned one of the oldest truths in finance. No private player is bigger than the system. And when the system feels threatened, it doesn't lose. It changes the rules. History is written by the victors. But the truth is written in the ledger.